In today's video, we will be creating our very own gel lights, and I will also discuss the variables you can use to create unique gel light patterns inside Daz Studio. Hi, I'm Palmy. Welcome back to my channel where I help you to master Daz Studio. Now, if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss out on any cool videos that are going to help you on your journey. Having said that, let's get back to the tutorial right now. So the first thing, a very quick primer on gel lights. Basically, gel lights are used by photographers to get really unique effects for beauty shots and portrait shots. So when I go to internet here, Google, I've just done a search here for gel lights. That's what I've done. And these are what I mean by gel lights. So what they do, if photographers here, is they have a light, like a 3-point light setup this is, and they put gels over them. Now the gels look like this. There's literally like a gel that goes over the light, and that gives them this really cool, unique effect. So as you can see here, these are gel lights used here to give contrasting colors here, and it gives a really unique effect for your kind of photography. If you're doing real life photography for your beauty shots or your kind of really photographic shots. Even this one here, have a look, we've got different colors here complementing each other as well. So we're going to be creating something like this inside Daz Studio. But before I do, I just want to show you the products. So we're not using any of these products. These are just some products that are in the store. Just want to show you what gel lights are. So basically, this is what we're trying to create. We're trying to create an effect like this using gel lights and something similar to this as well. So we're going to be trying to do our best to create something like this. So let's get back inside Daz Studio. So here we are inside Daz Studio. I've got my character here. This is actually my character Nico from my comic book, Tiger Dragon, the Rebirth. If you want to know why Nico is going to be in this comic book, go and read the comic book right now. Link is in the description right now. It's a free comic book. Just go and read it when you have some free time. I'm sure you guys have a lot of free time because you're spending a lot of time at home. And that's why we're learning about Daz Studio as well. So go and check out my comic book. Link in the description down below. Now let's get on with the tutorial. So I've got my character here in the 0, 0 position. So 0 axis, 0 X, Y, and Z axis, right in the center of the world here, so to speak. And the first thing we want to do is we want to create our backdrop here. So that's just basically a primitive. So we go here to create, new primitive, and I want a plane and a Y positive axis. Size 1 meter is fine and divisions is fine. We're not going to do any geometry work on that. It's just going to be a flat board basically. So accept, and there it is at the bottom. I'm just going to click on the plane, my scene here, and do an X rotate 90 so it's standing up. There we go. Now I want to position my board behind Nico. Obviously it's too small, so I'm going to go to the scale here and just scale it up. Let's try 200. I don't think it's been enough. Okay, let's make it bigger. Let's try 400. That'll do. So let's just translate it up a bit and move it back a bit. Right, something like that's okay, as long as we can see everything. Let me just have a look. Her foot's going through there, so we just need to translate a bit more back. There we go. All right, cool. So let's go back to camera 2. Excellent. Okay, so the next thing I want to do now is add another plane, and this plane is going to be our gel, for instance. It's going to be our kind of like to act like the gel would in front of a light. So another primitive, create new primitive. And the same plane, so same dimensions are fine. There it is on the floor. So plane 2. Again, we're going to rotate it 90 degrees because I want it up. And I want to bring it back a bit so we can actually see it. There it is. So I just actually want to raise this a bit higher because I want it roughly in the center. It doesn't have to be exactly in the center, roughly. So something like this is about the center. Cool. Okay, so that's going to be this here is going to be our gel, so to speak. So we need our spotlight to act like the light as it would in photography. So I'm going to create a new spotlight, create new spotlight. Cool. And I want to copy the selected item plane to. Okay. All right. So at the moment, the light is pointing in the wrong direction. It's pointing up because the rotate on it was copied from the plane. So the reason why I copied it from the plane too, because I didn't want to position, so it's positioned right in the middle of this plane. So all I need to do, the X rotate, I just need to put that back to 0. And as you can see, the light, if I just move around it, it's actually coming through the plane. So I want to just bring that back a bit more. Something like that is fine. It doesn't have to be too far. Again, this position doesn't really matter. You don't have to be exact. You could have it here if you want to, or you could have it here. It really doesn't matter because we can change those settings with the spotlight. Because with the spotlight, we can really control the amount of light and the direction. So it doesn't have to be perfectly here or here. It's up to you where you want it. So something like here is fine. All right, cool. So the first thing I want to do now is go to plane 2 now in my scene tab. I'm going to go to the surfaces of this plane. I'm going to click on the editor here. And what we need to do first is we're going to put the glossy layered weight up. Excellent. Then we need to change the primitive plane into what it would look like for a gel. So the refraction rate weight needs to go up to 1 and the refractive index needs to go to 1 as well. So obviously it's invisible, you can't see it, because if you imagine there was a gel here, you wouldn't be able to see it, for example. The reason why you can't see anything as well is because we haven't got anything in the actual plane as a map. So we're going to add a texture on very shortly. So there we go. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is the glossy color, we're going to add our texture. So I'm going to click on the arrow here, I'm going to go to browse. And what I've done is I've just created a folder with gel lights. Now all these are just images from Pixabay and Pexels that I've downloaded. And as you can see, there's a very unique thing about these images. They are like got very bright lights. So you want images that have very bright lights, like neon lights like this. So there's loads of free websites we can get these from. These are the ones that are going to have the best effects when we're going to do our actual gel lights. So you want something crazy like this, you know. You want something distinctive and unique like these, okay? So you can see you can do a lot of cool stuff with this. So the one I'm going to have is the one I'm going to use is this one here. If I can find it, I think it's this one here. Let me just double check. That's the one, okay? So you can see it's got like these really cool lines here, and the colors here are going to make some fantastic gel lights. So we click here. Okay, obviously we can't see anything because we need to go to render mode. So let's go to iRay preview mode. Just wait for that to kick in. Now we won't see much because some of the settings aren't correct, and I purposely did this just to show you how to set it up on blank. So the first thing we need to do is actually change our environment mode here. So render settings, environment, I only want the scene only. Okay, so I only want my scene. Scene only means that the spotlight will work, the point light will work, and any emissive lights will work. So no dome lights, no sun, no iRay sun lights. So scene only, and it's gonna go dark now. And here's our effect we're having right now. So obviously we can't see much because our spotlight is not providing the required light. So let's go to the parameters in spotlight. Let's go to light and let's boost this up. So when I want to do light geometry, I'm going to choose rectangle, or you can choose disk. It doesn't matter what you choose. The reason why I'm choosing rectangle and disk is because I want to change the softness and the hardness of the light, which I'll come to very shortly. So let's go to lumens here. Let's boost some of this up. So let's try a couple of extra zeros on this, see what that does. Let me just have a look through camera 3. Not camera 3, camera 1. Okay, cool. Alright, let me just go to camera 2 position from the side here so we can get a bit of a better look as to what's happening. Okay, so what's happening at the moment with our light, this light here, the spotlight, it's going through and we are just getting like very soft light here at the end. I want it to be a bit sharper because I want to see those edges defined on actual texture that we've got here on our gel light, so to speak, and I want to see more colors. So I'm going to set the height to 0.1 and I'm going to set the width to 0.1 as well, and you're going to see it change now. So we can see it's more sharper now, the image, because I've taken the softness out of it. Cool, that's what I wanted. The next thing I want to do now is, even though we've got it here like this, I don't particularly want this color here of all the same colors. I want the other colors as well. So to do that, we can go to the plane. Oh, one thing I forgot to do actually before we do anything else is the plane 2. I want the plane 2 here, this number plane 2 here, to be parented to the spotlight. So I'm going to click on plane 2. I'm going to go just hover over the spotlight and parent it. There we go. So what that does basically is when I go to the spotlight and I start moving it, the plane will move with it. So if I move to the left, the plane will move to the left as well. Okay, so that's very important, why we need to do that. So when we move the spotlight, the plane will move as well. That's very important as well. So let's get back to plane 2, sorry. Go to the surfaces of plane 2 and we're going to use the horizontal tiles, the horizontal offset, the vertical tiles and the vertical offset to position where I want everything on this, where I want my actual gel lights to look like. So the first thing I'm going to do is just play around with the horizontal tiles and see what happens. So we're going to experiment basically. So we're going to experiment. So I want to do 2. I want to double the horizontal tiles, see what happens. Alright, cool. I've got some more of these colors coming through. Awesome. Let's see what happens if I do 3. Okay, so that's moved across to the right a bit. Fine. So what I highly recommend you do is you always experiment. Just experiment with the tiles, see what works, what doesn't work. Alright, cool. So we got some nice colors here with the vertical. Right, and what if I add a couple of horizontal as well? See what happens. Right, so we get some more colors. What if I do 0.5? Cool. Okay, I like that. Okay, that's kind of cool. Right, okay, I'm happy with that. So with a bit of experimentation, I didn't do anything fancy. I was just going through the horizontal tiles and vertical tiles and playing with the style I wanted my gel light to look like. And obviously I want very extreme colors, so I've got my extreme colors here as well. So let's see how that looks through camera 1. Okay, so obviously we've got an issue here. We can't see Nico's face here. So what we can do is we can use the vertical offset to move these up and down. So if I go to the vertical offset, start increasing it. When I increase the vertical offset, the image will move up, and when I decrease the vertical offset, the image will move down. So I'm just going to increase it a bit. As you can see, it's moving up. So let me just go to camera 2 and move this up a bit more so I can see. Okay, cool. We'll have the blue on our eyes here. That looks kind of cool. Let's see. Image 1. That's kind of cool. Okay. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Now obviously we could play with the horizontal offset if I wanted to move it across more, so I could get the horizontal offset and then move that across. You'll see it change. You can see it's changing. Okay, so we've got some more unique colors there. Okay, you know what? I'm experimenting and I kind of like that. Okay, let's see what that looks through camera 1. Now, I think the reason why camera 1 is looking through that is because camera 1 is this here, I think. So actually what I need to do is move this further back. So that is camera 1. So I need to move my spotlight back. Let me just move that back away from the camera so we can actually see everything, just out of the view of the camera. Alright, cool. So let's go to camera 1 now. Should look better. There we go. Alright, cool. Now we've got some cool shadows here. We've got some really unique colors. I mean, we've got this little dark bit here as well. I like the look of that. It looks really abstract, really cool colors. So there are a lot of variables we can do with this. So with the plane selected in the surfaces tab, we can obviously change the horizontal tiles, the horizontal offset, the vertical tiles and the vertical offset to give us a unique look. So any texture you put inside here, you can create very unique effects with this. So always play around with the tiles. You can do some really cool effects. Another thing you can do is, if, for example, this here, if I wanted more lighting here in this darker area, what I can do is say, all right, I'm going to turn the emission color on to white. All right, I'm going to add my 1000. Obviously, it's very bright. Don't worry about that. We're going to fix that. For my emission color, I'm going to use the same map. So I'm going to use the same map I use for my glossy here. That I'm going to use right now in my emission. So click on here, go to here. Okay. Now, obviously, it's still too bright, so I need to bring down the lumens. So we start with something very low, like 50, and work our way up. Alright, maybe I want a bit more, just to give a bit more fill light here. So I can say, hey, give me 100. Alright, so I got a bit more fill light here. That's if I wanted more fill light. Now, I like my shadows, so I'm not going to use this. But this is just to show you how much you can play around with it. So if you wanted more to fill the light, some specific area, you can do that. So I'm actually not going to use this, but this is to show you what you can do. So I'm turning that off. Cool, okay. So let's go back to the spotlight. I just want to show you what else I can do with the spotlight. Let's go to the light. So obviously I've got my luminous flux here. If I wanted more intensity in the light, so I can increase the intensity from here. I can say, hey, 125%. And it's going to get a lot brighter, the color. And then we could say, you know what, the spread angle. I'm going to reduce the spread angle. So this is going to make it even more brighter. All right, you can see much more defined colors. We're getting much more brightness now because I've brought the spread angle down. If I can show you a better view here, you can see now this is the spread angle. It's a lot less compared to if it was at 60. You'll see that it's bigger. See the spread angle here, this circular here. This is the spread angle. So we're decreasing it. So when we decrease the spread angle, we actually get more brighter. So camera 1. All right, cool. I love the bright colors. This is working for me. Another thing we can do is we can do the softness. So say, hey, I want softness of this light here, this background here. I don't want it to be as sharp. So we can change with the diameter here. So I can change the height here to something like 0.5. And you can see it's going to get softer, like blurry. So you can see it's getting more blurry if you didn't want it as sharp. If you wanted it as some sort of like DOF effect almost. It's like almost like a DOF effect, so you can have that. Okay, so obviously the higher you go with this number, the more blurry it's going to be, to the point where it looks like this. And it's just very blurry. We've lost the kind of the sharpness of that texture there. All right, so that's 0.1. Again, if you do for the vertical, you get a different style. So the width. So if you do 0.5, you'll see that the softness is slightly different. Okay, let's decrease that, increase that more. Let's do 5 and you'll see the difference. So you can see the softness goes in a different direction, okay? And it looks completely different to the way it was before. So you can use that to your advantage with the softness, and it looks like there's like a DOF effect. So I'm going to turn that back to 0.1. I actually liked it with the diameter. That's 0.5. I think what I'm going to do as well, because I want to see more of a like face here, I'm just going to bring that down. So let me just bring that down. A bit more down. And that's okay. Cool. Happy with that. So that's cool. Our kind of gel light setup now. I like the way the setup is. What else can we do? So we can go into our tone mapping and really change things around. One of the things you can play with is white point. Now white point is great for changing the colors. So you'll see when I change the colors here, things will start to look really different. So I normally start here from the right and play around with the colors. Just wait that to update, and you'll see the colors will change a bit. See, they're slightly muted, some of the colors. Okay, and then you can start moving across here and playing with the colors and see what you want. So it's really great when you have something like this, a whole range of colors you can go through. And you can pick out colors you want to change. So here, as I'm going through the white point here, it's basically saying, hey, the white point is really great for like changing multiple colors like this. So as I go through the color range here, you can see that I'm getting a different effect all the time. And the colors are changing here. The intensity of the colors are changing as well. So let's try blue. Was that a pretty good one? Let's try a bit higher up for the yellow here, get more of a blue tone. There we go. Alright, so I like this blue tone color, that looks cool. Another thing you can do is use the highlights here and the crush blacks. So this is like your contrast. Crush blacks increases the black, so the shadows. So if I increase this to 0.5, for example, you'll see this will get a lot darker. See these bits are getting more darker now. We've got more darker here. And then we've got the burn highlights, which obviously does the opposite, which is going to increase the highlights of our lights here. So if I do something like 1 as an extreme, you'll see it's going to get very bright. Okay, so it's kind of like we're overexposing everything. Now in this case, that doesn't look too good, so I'll probably put it at 0.5. That's probably still too bright. I'll probably leave it the default. It's too bright. So those are two things you can play with. The next thing you can do is filtering, and we can actually start adding the bloom filter. Now bloom filter gives really cool effects. I'm going to use that right now, so I'm going to click it on. And you're going to see that because the default settings, it looks kind of like really whacked out. It looks really bad. We're just going to change the bloom filter threshold. So let's start off with something like 5,000. Try and get that threshold correct first. Okay, I need a bit more maybe. I'll try 10,000. Alright, cool. So we've got some sort of control now over the bloom. You can see that. We can see a bit more. So let's try the bloom filter radius. How bright do we want these kind of lights to be? The radius of the lights. So let's try with 0.5 first and see what that does. Just give it a second to kick in. There we go. Alright, so we get some really bright bloom effects here from the blue. That's probably too bright, not what I wanted. So 0.1. Decrease that bloom effect. Just give it a second to kick in. It takes a while for it to do. So there we go. We got some really cool like bright lights here, neon lights. Give me some really like sci-fi effect here. I'm liking that a lot. Now the brightness scale just basically increase the brightness of all these of all the bloom effects. So if I went crazy into 2, you'll see immediate effect of what's happening with that. Give it a second to kick in. There we go. So you see the brightness has increased, intense, magnified almost. So if that's the look you're looking for, then you would stay with that. Obviously for me that's too much. So I'll probably go to 0.5. So just give it a second to kick in there while it does all calculations. Alright. So that's basically our gel lights. So this is what you would look like with gel lights. Looks very similar to this. Obviously they're using scene lights only here. They're using textures that are like bokeh effects textures, and they're just applying the spotlight going through there, and it's giving really cool unique effects like this. And a similar thing here as well, where you've got a light going through and it's giving these cool effects. Now you can create your own textures like this person has done here. These are textures they've created here with different colors. If you got Photoshop or GIMP, if you want to do that, you can do that. We can do it another way by using actual textures that are inside free images from Pixabay and Pexels, where you can create unique things like this. So this, I'm really happy with this. I would take this into Photoshop and I will like do my magic with Photoshop and make it look absolutely awesome. But this is really cool. So you can see what you can do with gel lights. It's quite easy, straightforward. There are a few variables you can play with, but enough for you to get you really unique effects. So there you have it. That is how you can create gel lights in Daz Studio. It's very simple to do, very straightforward. And obviously when you're using textures and images from different websites, you can really create some very unique looking renders using that technique. Now moving on towards comment of the week, I'm going to put it up here. Thank you very much Mix Delatore for that comment of the week. Thank you very much indeed. If you want your comic to be featured in comment of the week, leave it down below as well. Comment on this video. If you like this video, hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to check out these videos over here as well. They're going to help you on your journey in Daz Studio. And I'll see you all in next week's video.